What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron, or as my mother would call me, Ronald. And today we're going to be hopping into a nice little best ball draft on Underdog. As you guys know, Underdog Fantasy Football is the best fantasy football app out there. It's a best ball app. You hop on there, you draft your team, and you don't have to worry about it again. You draft your team, and at the end of each week, Underdog tallies up your total points, and that is your week total. At the end of the season, all your shit is tallied up, and then the winner gets the first place prize, second place prize, third place prize. There's also have like tournaments on there. But today we're going to be hopping into a nice little, just a casual $5 best ball draft. We'll be talking some shit on the camera. We'll be just going into my strategy with these best ball drafts and just kind of feel things out from there. Now, if you're not aware, I have partnered with Underdog Fantasy Football because of you guys. So if you want to hop on Underdog Fantasy Football and deposit, use promo code RON at the deposit screen, and you get a free $25 added into your account just for being a supporter of the channel. Now, before I ramble any much longer, we're going to hop into an Underdog draft, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Thirsty, thirsty, trying to choose. I know I'm critical. My nitty bag.
All right, and now we're live, fellas. We got the 101 on the clock. Very easy pick here, McCaffrey. I'm not really even going to talk too much about the McCaffrey pick here, but I just want to make it clear. This is a $5 draft, just 12 of the fellas hopping on Underdog, having a good old time. I think the payout, I'm not really too sure what the payout is, but we're not really worried about the money. We want to get in here and really preach some strategy. So that's an easy pick. We're going to go McCaffrey at the one spot. The one spot, as of right now, feels like it's OP. I don't think there's any running back that could even really touch McCaffrey's jockstrap at this point. I think I was going to put a tweet about this the other day, but I think that there is somewhat of a case that you could say that third round reversal should probably be the norm. I honestly think that having the 101 is a massive advantage right now, and that's like a cookie cutter take. It's like, oh, obviously the first overall pick is the best, but McCaffrey is just in a tier of his own at this point. And then that 2-3 turn is really solid. You can get like Kittle, Waller, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown goes in that range. So it's a really sweet spot right there. And I love building teams like this. We're probably going to go with a nice little modified 0 RB build, which is actually perfect. And obviously we're going to let the draft fall to us a little bit. But when I'm doing like a hero RB draft, especially in best ball, we're talking 18 rounds, 3 wide receiver spots. I'm going to be going with that core wide receiver or that core running back in McCaffrey to really anchor things down. And then from there, I'm going to go two quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 9 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. Hopefully we get like an elite tight end and an elite quarterback, one of the two. And we can just build from there and just hammer out wide receivers. So the rest of this draft, I don't know who else is in here. I dropped something on Twitter, dropped something on the Discord. If you're not in the Discord yet, make sure you go down below in the description. Join the Discord. That's where I drop a lot of these links. That's where we do a lot of mock drafts, a lot of these Underdog drafts. But we got the boy Fantasy Stock Exchange. I know Danny's in here. I know a lot of you guys are subscribed to that channel. He decided to hop in this one. I want to hop in with one with him later on in the week. But yeah, so now we're at the turn. Has anything weird happened? I know, so Danny went Kamara. That's a fine pick. I'd be very hesitant to go Derrick Henry at the 103 because we put out that video the other day with league-winning upside running backs. I don't think Derrick Henry, I don't think that he has that upside. And I know he's been great in the years previous in terms of like staying healthy and all that. But we're talking about a guy that's handled all these touches. Now he's like 27, 28. If there was ever a year where he should bust, he should get hurt, it would be this year. And I know that that's not like predictive. That's kind of a wacky thing to say because there's not much proof behind it. But because we know these running backs bust at a rate of 40% in the first round, you want to have that moonshot. That's what that video was talking about. And I feel like Derrick Henry, he hit the nuts last year. Last year was the best case scenario. You had all of the running backs in front of him get hurt. He rushed for 2,000 rushing yards, and he still couldn't even finish as the RB1 in any PPR format. So I don't know what we're drafting Derrick Henry for. Like, honestly, I'm going to probably touch up the rankings soon, but I think that Derrick Henry's probably going to have to go in the, probably like the back end of the first for me. I think I had him up here at first, but I think I'll probably go like McCaffrey, Cook. I like Kamara, Saquon. I think you could even make a case for JT in that top 5. And then I like Kelsey, Hill. I like Stephon Diggs even a little bit higher than this too, because Stephon Diggs could have an easy case for wide receiver 1. I saw Ben Gretch talk about it for Diggs. But let me look at his. We're going to be all over the place. Just to be clear, just to get something out of the way, fellas. we're going to be all over the place. I'm going to be going on playerprofiler.com. I'm going to be going on websites, especially when we got the turn where I got 2 picks in a row and then we just got to wait on the clock forever. Oh, geez, we're zoomed the fuck out. Oh, my God, we're zoomed the fuck out. Does this look better here? Jesus Christ, yeah. But I mean, like, Stephon Diggs, I know we're going on a rant about Stephon Diggs, but it doesn't really matter. Like I said, this is going to be all over the place. It's going to be off the fucking rails. That's what you were getting with me. But he said something, Ben Gretsch said it the other day, but there was something about, like, Diggs didn't really even heat up in terms of, like, targets and all that type of shit until the end of the year. Because, I mean, like, through 4 weeks, nothing too crazy here. Nothing too crazy until 10.8, and then, like, 20, 25, 20 again, 29, 25, 41. He started going crazy. He started running more routes a little bit towards the end. The targets really came up because, I mean, like 6, 7, 16 was crazy. But then towards the end, like 12, 11, 9, 11, 14, 13, 11, 8. I'm not sure if they played their starters in this last game. I guess oh no, he had a 50% snap share, so I'm willing to throw that out. But, like, this stretch from, like, week 9 on is pretty crazy. Now you're getting another year with Josh Allen. So these wide receivers that they come from another system. We were, like, fading Stephon Diggs because of, like, the Odell Beckham thing, because Odell Beckham switched teams, and then, like, everyone was blaming it on Odell Beckham switching teams, that, like, wide receivers that switch teams don't do well. But he went crazy. But the thing is that they don't fit in right away into, like, their full potential. So he can still get more targets in that offense. He can be more on the same page with Josh Allen. Nobody was really brought in to compete with that target share. So I do, and they're going to play at a pace where they really pick things up. And on top of that, you have Tyreek Hill, who's not going to ever command, like, almost like a 30% target share like a Stephon Diggs could. So, I don't know. That's just my whole rant saying that I think that you could rank Stephon Diggs as your wide receiver 1, and I wouldn't hate it. Now, I do hate here that we don't have a elite tight end on the board. That's where I would usually like to go. Man, Mixon this far. I know you guys probably aren't going to like this pick because Mixon has fallen this far, but we are probably just going to draft. We're going to go with 2 wide receivers here. We're going to go Metcalf. We're going to go Justin Jefferson for sure. And I guess we'll go Metcalf. Like, I don't love Metcalf there. I think that you can make a case for Michael Thomas. I think I would probably have Justin Jefferson, maybe Michael Thomas and Metcalf, but I never really get to have this time in the team where we go Justin Jefferson, Metcalf, and you kind of double up on those young wide receivers. Again, would love to take take Michael Thomas there, but I just never get to take a team like this, so why not? Oh, Jesus, I just unscrewed something. So what else do we have going on here? I get that Mixon just fell to the 3rd round, and I probably should have taken him there, but the wide receiver talent's going to fall off by a lot, and when I have McCaffrey, we have to assume that McCaffrey plays 17 games. And if McCaffrey plays 17 games, he's going to put up so many points. I don't really need anything from the RB2 spot. And it'd almost be overkill. Let's say, even if Mixon, like, hits like crazy, I don't really need any more points from my RB spot. We're probably just, we're going to backfill it with some RB, like, 2s and 3s and 4s. And hope that we can just kind of string those together. And we'll just leverage us being, like, super fucking stacked at RB1 with McCaffrey, that we'll just put those assets elsewhere. And I like Metcalf sets us up for a stack with Russell Wilson. We got Justin Jefferson, who I just really want on a lot of teams as a guy where we've talked about the year 2 breakout stuff. I mean, if you just take into account what Justin Jefferson just did last year, and then he's supposed to go out there and like produce even better than that, we're talking about something crazy. I mean, Justin Jefferson, I feel like he's probably another one where he probably had a lot of things skewed towards the end of last season. Where, yeah, like 4.6, 7.4. Then he just starts going crazy. Jesus Christ. 3 targets across the first 2 weeks. Then he gets 9, 5, 5, 11, 4, 4, 10, 5. And then he just, Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. After those first 2 weeks, he starts really going crazy. And then he's probably going to be better. He's probably going to take more of a target share than 25.7. Maybe he works up his way into like 28%. So I think that people are probably going to, I think that, like, the popular take is probably going to be like, oh, Justin Jefferson, he was too efficient last year. He probably takes a step back. Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen is fucking taking away target share. Fade all that. We got a situation right now where Adam Thielen is declining. He's not that good, but it's a very centralized target share. You're going to have fucking Adam Thielen. It's going to be Justin Jefferson, then Adam Thielen, and then nothing. It's going to be like maybe some Dalvin Cook, some Irv Smith, but that top of the totem pole target share completely solidified. There's not really any competition. So his target share isn't fragile. He's going to be fine. And he's going to command more targets. Because if you just he probably had more targets on the back end of the season. And just that progression, he's probably going to command more targets, be more of the focal point in the offense. Probably gets a little bit more touchdowns. He didn't even really benefit from a lot of touchdowns last year. Well, he only had 7. What was that, 19th in the NFL, and he was still the wide receiver 10. So, I mean, he's due for a little bit of touchdown regression, especially like positive touchdown regression, especially when we're talking about Thielen, who's on the other side of that spectrum, who just had like 14, and his numbers are going to come down. We're going to see Jefferson. Like, Justin Jefferson could just easily go out there, go like 100 catches for like 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest. And then, okay, I kind of regret talking that bad about Metcalf because I'm buying into the Seahawks this year, and we'll talk about the Seahawks if I draft any of the other guys. What else is going on the board? We're also going to show a little bit of this board going on here, just because I know there's some of you guys out there that really prefer watching the board, and we probably should have been looking at the board a lot earlier, but it happens to the best of us. Now, I will say we go Mahomes, Evans, CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Swift, Carson, Miles Sanders, Amari Cooper, Robert Woods. Where are we on the clock? We're towards the back end here. What pick are we at? I always like to. I'll click on the player's name right now. This is like a little bit of an insider tip, but it's also like stupid because you can click on the guy's team, right? So he just took Woods. If you want to know the pick number, because you could do like 3 times 12 plus 2, which is 38, or you can just look at Robert Woods, pick 38 there, and then what? I'm 8 picks away, so that's actually like the 9th pick. So like Julio plus 9, bang, 48. That's my next pick. So then I'm looking at like the ADP in that range. But yeah, that's just my rant for today. There's going to be a couple more. Definitely pencil me down for a couple more rants today. But that's all I have off my chest for now. I've also been thinking about a lot. I don't think he'll fall to me in this range, but right in this range of that early 4th, I'm actually really starting to like DJ Moore. Like, I do love Tyler Lockett. I love Kupp. I love these guys in this range. But DJ Moore is actually really appealing because we know that he's a stud. We know that he is a baller. He just hasn't done it because of touchdowns the last couple of years. And I know that we have, like, Darnold and we have all these excuses for why he can't go crazy. But he could just be super talented and go crazy. Like, that's in his range of outcomes. We already saw probably, like, the worst-case scenario of what his season could be last year. And he still had, like, a 7.7% win rate, something among those lines. I'd pull up those numbers, but I'm not gonna fucking leak RotoViz's paywalled shit, but I think it's 7.7%. The average is 8.3%. So even if DJ Moore gives you what he did last year, he's like a low-end wide receiver 2, he's not killing you. But he's still like an absolute moonshot. He could just come out of nowhere and go crazy. Or not even come out of nowhere, but like people forget he was getting drafted as like the wide receiver 8 last year. Not much has changed since then as well. Curtis Samuel leaves. I mean, I do really like Terrace Marshall. But, I mean, the offense could take a step forward. He could just get into some TD luck, and he could just finish. Like, DJ Moore has the talent to finish, have, like, a top 5, top 8 type season. So, I've been a little bit more to DJ Moore. And that's just how I feel about that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So, next time that you're on the clock and you're like, I don't really want DJ Moore, should probably be pushing the button on him. I've been getting a little bit more of him recently. Because I think that people are out there talking up the boy DJ Moore. Now, I will say, if we can get Tyler Lockett to fall to us here, or not even, I guess it would be like fall to us, but if we could get Tyler Lockett, man, and stack him with Metcalf, if we could do the holy trinity of Metcalf, Lockett, and Russell Wilson, I would want that more than anything else. Please, Lucky. This is the part of the mock draft where we sit here and we pray that the 2 people in front of us don't snipe us. I would really like Tyler Lockett. I would really like him. I also think, okay, we're 1 pick away from Lockett. Come on now. I also think I have a couple of ideas if we don't. Okay, so we get Lockett. So Lockett is 100% where we're going here. Now, here comes the second question. That's tough. I like Higgins. I like Pitts. And I like Chase. Do we just go Pitts and lock in that tight end? We're going to go wide receiver. We're going to go T. Higgins. And that's a hot take there because I know Jamar Chase is ahead of him in ADP. And I'm going to make this change to the rankings very soon. If you want to check out my rankings, they're down below in the description, in the Patreon. I'm telling you guys, like, off no bullshit. Off no, like, I'm going to give you guys, like, a nice little ad here. Very simply, the best value in all of fantasy football is my Patreon. Literally just for $5, you get my redraft ranks, 1 quarterback and super flex for both of those. You get my 1 quarterback, or my redraft ranks that are 1 quarterback, super flex, all of the tiers. Then you get my dynasty rankings, 1 quarterback, super flex, tight end premium, all of those tiers. You get my buys and sells. You get, like, you can just ask me for trade advice in the Discord. I'm telling you, for $5, I'm almost almost overworking myself for $5 a month, but I feel like I'm just giving you guys a lot of value, and I enjoy helping people out that are on there on the Patreon. So I'm telling you, that's one of the best deals in all of fantasy football right now. I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to give you something better than that. I really don't. For $5 a month, find me somebody that's going to give you something more than that. I'm also going to do rest of season rankings in the fantasy football season. And then we're also going to be doing fucking waiver wire rankings every week where I break down like the fab and all that. All of that's included in the $5 a month on the Patreon. But back to the draft. Let's not go on a little bit of a tangent here. So we're going to be wanting to get Russell Wilson. I like to start players once we get to this part of the draft where like I'm starting to stack some things. So I would really like Russ. I don't want to go like this isn't a tournament, so we don't need to get any crazier than that. If we just go Russ, Metcalf, Lockett, that's perfect. Because like you could go like Russ, Metcalf, Lockett, and then come around with like either like an Eskridge, or you could go like a Gerald Everett. I don't need to go that OD when we're talking about just like a $5 12-man league. This is pretty standard stuff. I also like the Ayuk pick here for Danny. Ayuk is beautiful. Ayuk is beautiful. I've been hearing, honestly, like the godfather of fantasy football, Sean Siegel, has been putting out some really good stuff on Stealing Bananas over there on RotoViz. And I love Ayuk and T. Higgins, but I think he might be the only one that loves both of those players more than I do. Not to like leak his rankings and shit, but like T. Higgins is his wide receiver 9 right now in seasonal. And this is the guy, godfather of zero RB, the maker of a lot of money in fantasy football, one of the sharpest dudes out there. I would literally trust him with my life on my fantasy football team. But yeah, he's super high on him. And so am I, but not that high. All right, so I'm thinking, so Ayuk goes, Kyler Murray, Mike Davis. Oh, Jesus, Mike Davis. Mike Davis in the 5th. I can't get there. I know some of you guys out there might be able to do it, but I cannot get there. That's just like the epitome of like a dead zone running back. I think you guys probably know what the dead zone is by now. Like those rounds 3 to 6, you want to fade running backs because they bust higher. They don't really improve on your win rate. Mike Davis is the epitome of that. I think that there's exceptions to the rule in the round 3 to 6 range because we go to like round 3. I think that the exceptions to the rule should be like young running backs. Like I would take Mixon because he's technically not like a round 3 guy, but like Swift, a young ascending guy. Like I don't really like either of these guys in that dead zone. Don't love Montgomery. You can make the case for Dobbins. Don't love Jacobs. And the other guys I'd make the case for, not Mike Davis, the other guys I'd make the case for is ETN and Javonte Williams. ETN, Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift. I mean, these are the guys that I'd be willing to like kind of take a stab at in the dead zone because what we're talking like round 3. Yeah, like Swift, I'll take a stab at. I used to like Miles Sanders. I'm not as into it anymore because I think I just don't think Hurts is great for him. I think Hurts will help him with the efficiency between the tackles, but I don't think he has the same receiving upside that I thought he had last season with Hurts at QB. Maybe I have to look into the numbers of like what his targets even looked like in those 3 games. Maybe we should look at that right now. Or let me go to. All right, we got 12 picks. Don't even fucking worry about it. As I said, I'm all over the place. If you don't like, if I should just be breaking the draft down pick by pick and looking at the grid and all that, let me know down below. I'll tighten things up here, but I also kind of like this just being like a stream of my consciousness during a draft, letting you guys know like what my ideas are and shit. But if you're not rocking with this setup, let me know in the comments. I will just kind of really get into the strategy. Like I am getting into the strategy of things, but like really get into the micro. I'm much more of like a macro guy when it comes to like fantasy strategy and all that. That's why I'm not like super in depth. I'm more into like roster construction and the general strategy, especially in like a best ball thing. All right, so what was I even doing here? Miles Sanders. So I wanted to see Miles Sanders. So PPR, okay, that's perfect. And then I wanted to see games with Jalen Hurts. I feel like that'll work. And we'll do just 2020. Damn it, it's gonna be okay. So it needs to be Jalen Hurts. Now, don't worry, fellas. We see like how many picks are away up. Picks we are away up here. Oh, we are not. We are no longer 12 picks away. They have lied to us. Okay. All right, I'm kind of an idiot. So we are going to now go Jalen Hurts in games where Jalen Hurts passed for like more than 10 times. Oh boy. All right, never mind. We're going to look at that after this pick. We're all over the place. All right, so we're going to, man, we might get Russ sniped out of our hands here. I could easily see a spot where Danny takes Russ. So guys that are on our radar right now is going to be Russ. Don't like any of the running backs, and we'll be waiting on running backs for a while here. We do not have a tight end yet. If there's a Hawkins, yeah, so there's no Hawkins. We're just gonna have to keep on pounding wide receiver. Sutton is beautiful. So I like Sutton. I like Russ. After that, though, what did he stack? Keenan Allen, thank God. So we have Russ, Cortland Sutton. After Sutton, I don't love the wide receivers. We probably go like LeChenal, maybe Boyd to stack with what's his face. Damn, Sutton went. So we go maybe Boyd to stack with T. Higgins. So I'm thinking Chark, Debo, Michael Gallup, Juju. I think. Okay, so I'm thinking we're going to go Russ. We'll get Russ to complete the stack. And then we will go. What pick is that? 72? All right, so then we're going to go Chenault. Bang. Bang. I love this. I love this start because we're going to go 2-5-9-2. We're still in a spot where we can kind of punt quarterback. We're good enough or we can punt tight end. And what I like to do is if I get one of these quarterbacks in the first 7 rounds, so say I go Russ, say I go Hurts, I go Herbert, or I go something like anybody before this, we go with one of these top guys. I like almost always if I'm gonna take one of these elite quarterbacks up front, I want to come around the back, pause, slip in a nice little rookie quarterback. So either Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, or if you want to get a little bit freaky, you go Zach Wilson. But all of those guys, they offer a lot of upside. A lot of them have rushing upside. A lot of them have good weapons that you can even get like backdoor stacks with, where you can go like Justin Fields, you can go Darnell Mooney, you can go Trevor Lawrence, you get like maybe Marvin Jones, Colin Johnson is fun. Justin Fields, I know I said Mooney, but you can also go like Anthony Miller at the back end, also Cole Kmet at the back end. Zach Wilson is easy because you can go Keelan Cole. If you're living on that edge, you can go Chris Herndon. But yeah, I don't mind that spot at all. And I do think Danny stacks him with Ayuk here. Yeah, so that's a pretty wide receiver room. I'll give him that as of right now. And he gets Waller. I would have loved to have Waller. So Sermon. See, Sermon's a guy that I'll take a little bit early because I think that he also has that potential. And we're talking about we want to aim for rookies. We want to aim for like second-year guys. Those are the ones that have the most boom potential. I probably want to do a video soon on that where we talk about running backs and if they like outperform ADP often. Just like, or actually just like rookies in general. I just want to know if rookies are like good bets at ADP. You know what I mean? Like maybe sometimes they get pushed up too far, but like sometimes they do really pop off. Now let me see. Okay, so now let's go back to the Jalen Hurts thing. Pass attempts. So I would like greater than or equal to 10. Should that be like 3? Did he play 4 games? Huh. I may have just exposed myself, fellas. I don't know if you're seeing this. We'll zoom in a little bit. I don't know if you're seeing this. But Miles Sanders in the 3-game split with Jalen Hurts. Let's take the PPR points at a grain of salt. We're talking a 3-game sample. But his targets didn't change at all. He actually had more catches in that span, and he had as many targets and like double the receiving yards. So maybe Jalen Hurts does kind of dumb things down. I mean, it could have been a scenario. The problem is the 3-game sample is really fucking small. But it just could have been a scenario where they didn't have a lot of receiving talent that week. I'm not sure what to make of that. But me saying that Hurts holds back Sanders in the passing game, that's a lie. That was a blatant lie. I'm sorry I told you guys that. I'm sorry. I'm live here. I got 2 lights in my fucking face. It's actually what we're looking at. It's 10:54 right now. But we're out here grinding. We're out here living the good life. So what do we got? Does it say like routes ran? So I mean, I guess he kind of ran the same routes he usually does with Jalen Hurts, 32 in this game. I mean, yeah. Probably a more efficient offense with Jalen Hurts. Maybe Miles Sanders does kind of hit a little bit of a come up. Either way, though, that like I think he was on like a 69 pace, 69 target pace. Anyways, and that's not going to do a whole lot. You know, we want a guy. I mean, 69 targets actually pretty interesting, especially with like a 17-game span. Maybe he's rocking with something like a 75, 80 target pace. I don't know. Miles Sanders is somewhat interesting, especially if that O-line can turn it around. I just haven't been drafting a lot of him, to be honest, because I just like the wide receivers in that range a little bit more, right? If we go to Miles Sanders, we're talking like CeeDee Lamb. Like I would take CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson, Terry McLaurin ahead of Miles Sanders. I think I would even And I think that that's probably where I'd be comfortable taking Sanders. Once Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Allen Robinson, and Terry McLaurin are off the board, I don't hate taking him there. All right, so let's talk some. Let's actually maybe pay attention a little bit. Oh, and see where we're at here. So we have the stack of our dreams. We need a tight end. We're kind of fucked at tight end, but we'll just figure it out later. Now, here is a thing where I didn't want to do the stack, but now that we're so thin at tight end, we're going to be going for the Gerald Everett thing. I'm thinking we probably just punt too late. Maybe we go like Everett. Maybe we go Everett, then we like pair Justin Fields with Cole Kmet. You know, I think that would be very fun. What's another court? Like we just got Russell. Everett is in there. There's not really a late round quarterback that is going to pair. I mean, Evan Ingram with like Daniel Jones, I'd be interested in. And that's kind of it. That is kind of it, I'll be honest. Yeah. All right. So we are actually picking very soon here. So what pick are we at? Higbee. So it's going to be Goddard +4. We're going to be picking at pick 96. So at pick 96, I would like, I really like Cooks. I really like Jarvis. I hate this range. This is not a fun range. You might even go Michael Carter here. We could maybe even get, yeah, okay, so if Michael Carter's gone, never mind. Danny fucking sniped us. Brandon Cooks, we'll literally double tap Brandon Cooks and Jarvis Landry if we can. I hate this area though. I don't like Hardman. I don't like Pittman. I don't like Burrow. I don't like taking a tight end in this range, but I think that we'd kind of be forced to take Fant. I don't like Parker. Maybe we'd have to like maybe reach on one of these running backs like a Ronald Jones or Zach Moss. I don't like doing that either. Maybe we just go Darnell Mooney to set up a Justin Fields stack. So he went, okay, so we're just gonna go Brandon Cooks, Jarvis Landry, and forget about it, because those are the two wide receivers I think are in a tier of their own in this list. I think Jarvis and Brandon Cooks are far and away the best wide receivers on that list. So now I actually really like the way our team looks, because we're at 117. We only need 2 more wide receivers, and then we're done at wide receiver. So we can kind of wait a little bit, but it's perfect. I'm actually even debating we might even be in a spot 1, 2, 3, 4, so 7. We could even be at a spot where we go like 2, 5, 8, 3, so we can kind of offset how garbage our tight ends are. See, these are the tough decisions you have to make when you're on the clock, or just like in the draft in general. I'm thinking maybe we do that, because maybe we stacked up wide receivers so good that we don't need the 9 wide receivers. Maybe we could just stop it at 8. I think if there was ever a draft where we could do that, it would probably be this one, because we have 8 wide receivers. We have 7 wide receivers through 9 rounds. I don't know. I don't love taking 3 tight ends. That's really my problem. I don't love taking 3 tight ends, but I mean, if we go like, I mean, the problem is that we probably needed to take like a Fant, a Logan Thomas to justify stopping at 2. Like in a tournament, I'd be pretty fine with just going like Everett and Blake Jarwin and just calling that a day. Man. Now we have to really think what we want to. This is the roster construction stuff I'm thinking about. Like I know like most of your like run-of-the-mill fantasy guys are want to talk about like every single player that's going off the board. I'm more interested, like the roster construction part is what I think is like probably the most actionable part. These are the things that are going through my head. Instead of like, oh, I really want to get this player and go get my guy. The most important thing you can be thinking about when you're on the clock in these best ball drafts and drafts in general is roster construction, strategy in the later rounds. You kind of want to build back from those last rounds and build your way up to where you are now, so that you can kind of draft with the idea of not screwing up the rest of the draft. You know what I mean? Not sort of thinking. I don't play chess. You know, I've never been that guy, but I'd imagine in chess you're probably like kind of like thinking like your next 4 steps out. So I'm trying to plan out my next like 5 or so picks, how that all looks on the team, and then kind of what I think looks the best. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it does. I don't know. So we have Visca. This is where we're gonna get into the range where we can stack. I would like to go Visca and Trevor Lawrence. If not Visca and Trevor Lawrence, then we could just go. I would like to go Justin Fields, and then we can get Kmet down here. We can go like Everett, Kmet, and then if we want to, we could get a 3rd tight end. I wouldn't love it, but it's an option because we're so stacked at wide receiver. Now, has anybody made any goofy picks here? This guy's got kind of a Baltimore vibe. This is a very weird team. A lot of, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5 or 6 rookies right there. All right. Where? So Russell Gage, we're at pick 107 right now. So pick 107, Burrow goes. Does this guy have any Cincinnati stacks? No. That's interesting. His team is a little interesting. All right, so we got Burrow, Brady. I think Zach Moss is so fucking tough for me, bro. Zach Moss is so tough for me because I think like his two cases are super clear. You have the bull case where he is the RB1 on a top 5 scoring offense and he scores a lot of touchdowns because the Bills say, hey, you know what? We have a franchise quarterback in Josh Allen. Let's stop using him as a battering ram into the end zone. But then on the other end, you have a running back who could just be in a 50-50 time split with Devin Singletary, and Josh Allen could remain the goal line back, and he could just give you between the fucking 20s carries. I mean, maybe in that aspect, how we don't have his stats. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind the idea that Josh Allen's no longer going to be the goal line back, but we haven't seen anything to indicate that. But it's like it's not a bad hypothesis, is what I'm trying to get to here. Do we have like how much did he run for last year? 481 rushing yards is what we're talking about here. Man, I found myself drafting a lot of Devin Singletary too because I think there is value in that offense. I probably won't just want the cheaper swing. It is tough though. It is tough. I just don't think either are very good. I mean, fantasy points per opportunity was like number 80. Like people want to shit on Devin Singletary, and I've been the chairman of let's shit on Devin Singletary. Like, you know, he was like a 6th-round pick last year, or was he last year? I don't know. Like maybe the year before that he was like a 6th-round pick. I don't know. I've never loved him at ADP, but this year he's going for free. Fantasy points per opportunity, he also sucks. Don't get me wrong, he also sucks, but like Zach Moss isn't worlds better than him. He's like 108 here. I want to say his yards created per touch. Yeah, number 11 in yards created per touch. It's pretty fucking good, man. Like that's not bad. Yards created per touch. All right, let's actually see what we're up against here because the quarterbacks. So all we have is Fields now. All right, so what I'm thinking. So Ruggs plus 4, 120. We'd have to reach on Fields by a full round if we want to go that route. If Darnell Mooney is there, we will do it. That's what I'll say. If Darnell Mooney is there, we'll do it. If not, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy for not taking a running back at this point. But we're just gonna keep kicking the can down the road. I love all these running backs. I love Dylan, Melvin Gordon, Gus Edwards, Darrell Henderson. Man, I might even take one. I might even just take one real quick. I do like myself some Darrell Henderson. Damn. Okay, so Mooney went. That's actually kind of perfect. So Mooney. So now we're at 120. We probably go. So we are pick 120 right now. Mooney, pick 120. Okay, so we're going to save ourselves into only having to draft 2 tight ends. We'll go Logan Thomas. I don't like Logan Thomas that much, but because this is just such a value here. Logan Thomas, we got him at like a pick later than he usually goes. Then I do like Corey Davis, but we're just going to pass and we're going to go Darrell Henderson. We just need a running back at this point, to be honest. And Darrell Henderson is one of those guys I really like. When we're talking about like these running backs that are like super upside type guys in these like hero RB builds, I love to have at least one of Tony Pollard, AJ Dillon, Darrell Henderson. Is there anybody else that's like in that type of tier? You know what I mean? Where the starter goes down and they're going to be a top 5 RB. So Darrell Henderson, AJ Dillon, Pollard. I think that's it. That's literally it. Yeah, that's end of list. But that's the list that I'm targeting. If every single one of these running back teams, unless I'm going like hyper fragile, where I go 4 running backs, even then I want to have one of them. But one of those 3 guys I want in every single draft. Every single draft. Those are all perfect candidates because Darrell Henderson, he could find himself in like a committee. I know that you guys don't want to hear this if you're Cam Akers truthers, and I love Cam Akers, and I even have Cam Akers as a 1st-round guy. But on teams where you don't draft Cam Akers, you have to be open to the possibility where you can talk yourself into, especially with like an 11th round pick, you can talk yourself into, okay, maybe it's, you know, Darrell Henderson was banged up at the end of last season. You know, he's a very good prospect. Yards created, he went crazy with. He could find himself in a committee. Even then, that's a 2-man backfield. That's what I love about Pollard, AJ Dillon, and Darrell Henderson. 2-man backfield. It's not a 3-headed monster where we're talking. What's like a 3-headed backfield? I can't really think of one right now. But I mean, like Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor. You know, like that's not as like clear. I mean, you have like Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson, Michael Carter. Again, not a great example, but an example. But what I'm trying to get at is like just off that alone, like these, I don't think people understand that running backs, like the number 2 running back is like going to get touches. Like Jamal Williams, he gets touches. You know, he got what, like 500 yards, 2 touchdowns, like 30 catches and 200 yards. He's gonna find himself a couple of boom weeks, and in best ball, he's gonna find himself in that lineup. So anybody, I don't know. I'm trying to find like who else is out there. Like dude, like a Latavius Murray is perfect. He is perfect for this type of example. Jesus, I can't even talk. But like Latavius Murray last year, 656 yards, 4 touchdowns, 176 yards through the air, and a touchdown. Like that's what, like 100. It's like 100, 160 or so touches. You know, that's perfect. 170 or so touches. That's all you really need. And then if you look at, like, if you want to go to, like, remember, we're getting these guys in like the 10th round. But let's say you get Latavius Murray. Let's see his fantasy game logs real quick on Player Profiler. Again, I know we're all over the place, but I wouldn't want it any other way. But yeah, look, like, okay, so like not much, but I mean, like, even if you get like 7.5 points in your best ball lineup and you have McCaffrey at RB1, you're chilling. But like, bang, you get a 21-point week. Bang, that 10-point week is usable. 25, 10, 12. Like you got some weeks there, and then you get like 4 of those guys to kind of rotate in and out at RB2. It's not gonna be pretty a lot of weeks or some weeks, but it'll get you there. You know, it'll get you there. All right, so now we have a loaded wide receiver core at 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 7 wide receivers, 1 tight end. And remember, we're trying to get that to 2-5-9-2. And the best strategy that I can give you guys when we're doing best ball drafts, work your way up from that last round, like I was saying. But what that comes with is wide receiver thins out fast. Wide receiver, once we hit like Diami Brown, is like, yeah, once we hit like Kadarius Toney, Diami Brown range, and we're talking like 18th, 17th, 16th round, and you have to take all wide receivers in that range, you're throwing empty picks out there. Like Deshaun Jackson, a lot of these guys I don't even want on my team because we're not even sure. Like now it's camp, we don't even know who's going to make it through. Maybe some guys get cut. There's a lot of things that could happen, and a lot of these guys aren't dependable fantasy assets. And I think that a lot of people doing the 5 running back builds, the 4 running back builds where they stop, it's causing a lot of these wide receivers to get drafted early. So what you can do with that is that you be one of the fuckers that takes the wide receivers early, like I just did, right? Now we're at 7 wide receivers. We only need 2. We can take 2 in these next couple rounds. We don't have to worry about it in those last few rounds. And then while everyone else is like just getting desperate for like bullshit wide receivers like Tyrell Williams and Sammy Watkins, all these guys that aren't going to do shit on your team, that's when you scoop in that quarterback value and that running back value and that wide receiver and that tight end value. Because when we're looking at running backs, like I love all these guys in the 180s range. Darrington Evans, Giovanni Bernard, I love. Chuba Hubbard, I love. Damian Williams, I love. Gainwell is interesting. I think Penny's interesting. Samaje Perine interesting. A lot of these guys I like. And these late round running backs, they have a little bit higher upside because wide receivers, they're gonna get like stray boom weeks, which is fine sometimes. But like if we go down here and Mixon's gone, you now have Samaje Perine operating as a top 15 running back for like 4 weeks at minimum. Like it's much more. You don't have to be super talented at running back to just become an RB1. Whereas wide receiver, you have to. If you're gonna be like a late round guy and just come out of nowhere, you're gonna have to like be super talented. Unless if it's just like stray boom weeks. I don't know if that makes sense. But for running backs, only one can get on the field, and if you're the backup, you just get kind of thrown out there, and that's that. No matter where you're at. And then at quarterback, in that like last range. So like what I'm trying to say is in those last 3 rounds, right? So around 16, 17, 18, I want as many of those picks to be quarterback, running back, or tight end. Because even in that range, we're talking like Derek Carr. Like Derek Carr is we're talking Zach Wilson, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, Ben Roethlisberger, Jared Goff. Those are all very usable quarterbacks. Like like if I'm going like a 3 quarterback build, I'll take any of those guys. But here comes a little bit of a dilemma. Because we're only going with 2 of each, we're gonna probably wait on quarterback a good bit. We'll probably wait on quarterback a good bit, unless if Fields falls to us. If Fields falls to us, I'll love that. But we could wait a good bit on quarterbacks. Like I'm cool with a Russell Wilson. Do we have any other interesting stacks going on here? No. But with a Russell Wilson, I'm cool with waiting until Zach Wilson / like Daniel Jones. That sounds fun to me. I do. Oh, Everett went. Fuck, man. Fuck. I needed Everett to fall to me there. Please let me get Fields. This will be beautiful. Please let me get Fields. I beg you to let me get Fields. What's this? 143, 144? Please don't do this to me. I beg you not to do this to me. Please. Then we have to really make a decision. Okay, so we already have a tight end, so that's not a problem at all. Like, I was going to say we could just go Evan Ingram. I think we will. If we can, please don't time out. Okay, beautiful. I cannot believe, did he have an Atlanta stack at least? Wow, my man went Matt Ryan over Justin Fields. So this is beautiful. So now we get Justin Fields at QB2. Bang, that's perfect. And then we go Terrace Marshall. Then we go Terrace Marshall. Then we go Terrace Marshall. Because look, I actually really wanted Evan Ingram there, but now that we have Fields, I'd rather get Komet. I'd rather get Komet later, because if Fields hit, then Komet likely hits. Because if we're talking, what the fuck is our next pick? 14, 12. Does anybody know 14 times 12? 168. I think we're gonna cut it close on Komet. 168. His ADP is 169. We'll see. If it doesn't happen, it's not really a big deal, because I'm cool with just betting that Logan Thomas is that guy. So now we know. I think that for tight end and wide receiver, we're hoping for Anthony Miller and Cole Kmet late. And I know that some of you guys are thinking that we're going a little bit too thin at running back, but I'm telling you, we're going to be fine. We're going to be just fine. Anthony Miller, where is he at? So Anthony Miller will also be on our radar. Fun fact, fellas, I actually really like Anthony Miller this year as a stack with Justin Fields. He's like going in like the last round. He's proven that he can play. Like and when I mean like he can play, I don't mean at like an all-star level or some shit like that, but I mean, who is Anthony Miller's wife? Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but what is he 3 years into his career at this point? I mean, we're talking about he caught 7 TDs in year 1. Maybe he lucks into that TD shit again. I mean, we're talking about a guy like 50 catches and 500 yards, and maybe he gets like 5 touchdowns. We're talking like a last round pick. I'm with it. And we can line up his boom weeks with. Let's see. Did he have any nice boom weeks last year? Now the thing is though, there has been some reports on RotoWorld where it seems like he could get traded. That's a little bit of a concern, I will say. I will say though, if he gets traded, maybe that gives him a little bit of a better outlook. I don't know. I did like him coming out as a prospect. I'm not sure if he qualified as a face planner. I didn't like him coming out, but he's interesting coming out. Have been discussing trading Anthony Miller, but that was April. Nothing has happened yet. Nobody made noise on the deal. They should just keep him. He'll help out Justin Fields. It'd be perfect. All right. So I also really like Terrace Marshall here, because here's the thing with these rookie wide receivers. I'm going to do a video on this soon, but Pat Kerrane, and I love Pat Kerrane. He did a article on it. But these wide receivers, these rookie wide receivers, when they blow up, it's going to be because of efficiency, not because of volume. It's not going to be because they're just like hogging up all these targets and shit. A lot of these guys that outperform ADP are going to be the guys. How do I say this? Are going to be the guys that win by efficiency because they're talented. A lot of these guys are not going to come into a role where they're just going to be peppered with targets. That's not how it works for rookie wide receivers. So they're going to win off of efficiency, yards per out run, scoring touchdowns. So that means you want to target talent more than you want to target efficiency. A player not having like an actual role in an offense doesn't really matter for me. I just matter if they're a good prospect in my eyes, or even just like having good draft capital, just like where I can see a path where they can just like outperform things. You had like Ayuk last year. You had CeeDee Lamb. You had T. Higgins. You had Ayuk. I might have said Ayuk already. Justin Jefferson. We just had a lot of these guys outperform expectations without super clear roles the year before. And to me, Terrace Marshall, this was the whole point of me going big screen here. But the whole point of me going Terrace Marshall there is he is in the same tier for me as a prospect as how far we got to go up here. He's in the same tier of prospect as Rondale Moore, as Rashad Bateman's better, but like Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, even Waddle and Devonta Smith, I have Terrace Marshall in the same exact tier as them. So if you can give me a like 3-round discount on a prospect I think is just as good, I will take that every time. What is this? So Rondell Moore is the latest one. So that's 10-3, and I just got him. I got him 3 rounds later. You're gonna give me a 3-round discount on a rookie wide receiver I think is as good as all those players. Sign me up. Sign me the fuck up. So now we have to hope for Komet. We're gonna hope for Komet. We're gonna hope for Alexander Madison. So I'm thinking Madison. I'm thinking McKissick. I'm thinking Cole Kmet. I'm probably not going to take any wide receivers here. We're probably going to wait until Anthony Miller. It's going to get very ugly, though, if Komet is gone. Man, so running backs are not looking pretty. Tevin Coleman. I mean, what pick is this? The one. Damn it, we just did the math. AJ Green +4. So 168. We can. I'm cool with taking Tevin Coleman there. Damn it, he went Alexander Madison. I wanted Alexander Madison bad. That's a good pick by Danny. Damn. How many? I feel like he got that at a value, too. 165. Yeah, that's solid. All right, so we're going to go Komet. We're going to stack him with Justin Fields, which is going to be beautiful. And then, do we like McKissick or do we like Tevin Coleman? Do we like? I'd probably just say McKissick. I guess he's locked into targets. Any kind of. Oh man, I do not like McKissick at all. We'll go McKissick. Fuck it. Antonio Gibson has a weird toe thing going on. He could work his way into that role. He's going to get plenty of receptions. The thing is, the reason why I'm skeptical about J.D. McKissick at his current price is because I don't want to overpay for these receiving backs. The whole point of getting like McKissick and getting Nyheim Hines last year was that they were dirt cheap. No one thought they were going to do anything, and they came out here and they caught a lot of passes. I guess 15th round is dirt cheap for McKissick, but it's more optimal to wait on these guys that are just like purely PPR guys. At the very least, though, it makes me feel better that like Nyheim Hines is like a 12-9 guy. So Nyheim Hines is a 141. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It just feels like it's you're paying a lot for a run-of-the-mill kind of thing. Because like now I'm kind of ripping this pick to shreds. But like, why would I take McKissick here when I could just get Giovanni Bernard around later? I guess James White did just go. Oh yeah, so Danny took James White. I do like his 5 running back core. Yeah, that's solid. This is the way to go. Danny's kind of building a team similar to mine in that he also does not want to take wide receivers with his last picks. That's why round 16, 17, 18, he probably takes a quarterback, a tight end, and a wide receiver. For me, it's going to be 2 running backs and a wide receiver. Those last 3 picks, you want to narrow it down to just having to take at the most like 1 wide receiver, because once we're already thin here. We're already really thin. After Dyami Brown, I'm not interested. Which, thank God that we're probably just gonna take Anthony Miller with our last pick. But like, literally after Dyami Brown, unless I have like a Green Bay stack or I have a Kansas City stack, or like a Seattle stack, I'm not really interested in any of these guys. And I know I have a Seattle stack, but I'm not going to go any more than Russ and two pass catchers. I could go with a third, but why not get Justin Fields his second pass catcher to kind of stack up here? And then we can get two nice running backs. Unless if Dyami Brown makes it to us, but I don't think there's any shot he does. Now, I will say, I kind of regret taking McKissick here, but the whole idea was like at cost. Why couldn't we just get Giovanni Bernard? Giovanni Bernard went 8 picks later, so I feel better about that pick because McKissick, I guess you're still getting at that like scat back type discount. Because I was saying I would have rather had James White or Giovanni Bernard at cost, but they all went the same round as McKissick, so why not? And you can kind of talk yourself into McKissick getting a nice little stack with Logan Thomas. Actually, let's do a little Mythbusters. I want to do a segment on the channel eventually. I know now we're just kind of talking about shit, but I kind of want to do a segment on the channel eventually that's called Fact or Cap. I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, but I think it's hilarious. Like, is this facts? Welcome back to Fact or Cap. And on today's like whatever the fuck, I don't know. But we could just like mess around with that. But if we look at the best ball win rate explorer, that's what it is. By the way, this is probably like free advertising for RotoViz anyway, so I'm not really leaking anything. But I want to go to Stack Analysis, Stack Explorer. That's what it is. Okay, so what if we go? That's what we just did. I think that was like their RB2. So it was McKissick plus their tight end 1. Tell me that that's optimal. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be. So now it just loads up. Let me take a little drink of water. I've been talking nonstop for a minute now. I don't know if you guys just got ASMR of me drinking that, but it was beautiful, the moment that we just shared. So did it come up yet? So now we're just waiting. It's running it through the algorithms, trying to figure out if this is optimal. Can you stack McKissick and Logan Thomas and still win your best ball league? That's what we're trying to figure out here. RotoViz is diving deep into the mainframe to retrieve this information for us. It's not great. It's not great, guys. It's not great. It's kind of suboptimal to do that. We fucked up. We fucked up. Now, here's the thing though. You ready? All right, we're getting pretty close to our pick, but here's the thing. Okay, so RB2, tight end 1. So this RB2 was drafted as my RB3. And the tight end was drafted as my tight end 1. Now what are we saying? Come on. Talk to me, RotoViz. Talk to me. Tell me that JD McKissick. Am I an idiot? Okay, so 8.2%. So it's negligible. It's, you know what I mean? It's like 1% less, 0.1% less optimal, so it's really whatever. All right. So now we are on the clock, and we have not really been paying too much attention, but I would love to go Darrington Evans. And I would love to go... So Darrington Evans, Anthony Miller is also up there. So I'm thinking Darrington Evans, and I'm thinking Damian Williams. Bang. Bada bing, bada boom. I think that's what we're going to go with. And then we'll come back around. I mean, Damian Williams... Is there any decent wide receivers up there that I would like? No. If not Damian Williams, then we could go Gainwell. Do we just go Gainwell? So for sure, Darrington Evans. I got to think about this for a second. Because if we go Damian Williams, then we have Fields, an RB, a wide receiver, and a tight end from the Bears, which I don't want to do. Do we just take a different wide receiver? No, I'm pretty locked into Miller. So we're just going to go Darrington Evans. We're going to buy ourselves a little bit more time because we know that pick was coming. Darrington Evans I really like. We'll talk about that in a second. What pick was that? 192. I would like to go Hubbard here, but we have McCaffrey. We're not going to go Damian Williams. I think we just go Kenny Gainwell. Let's go Kenny Gainwell. Bang. There we go. That's our running back core right there. I'm loving it. That's perfect. We got upside in Darrell Henderson. We got weekly floor of 0.5 PPR. We got some more, kind of receiving back type stuff here. Kenny Gainwell is just kind of who knows what the fuck's going to happen. Miles Sanders has been a guy that gets hurt. He could just come in and get some passing work. The these four running backs can kind of string together some RB2 weeks. And if they don't deliver, you're not losing your league because you're not getting enough RB2 points. The way that you're winning your league is getting as many boom weeks as possible from your wide receivers and your flex. That's what it comes down to. All right, so we have our tight ends built out. We have our running backs built out. So now is where we go. Now is Anthony Miller time. Because, is there... Yeah, I mean, if Dwayne Eskridge was on the board, we would have taken him there. But where did he go? Yeah, he's been going a little bit earlier. So, yeah, I like what we're building here. Danny, I imagine, is probably going a 2.592 as well. Yeah, that's what I love. If you go into an elite tight end, you can literally just wait for the 18th round and grab something crazy. Look at this is a team that I built last year. Actually, hold on. Let's talk about Darrington Evans real quick because this is going to be some top secret stuff. So don't tell anybody. But 100%, I'm gonna probably do a week. I want to start doing. So now I'm just kind of talking out loud here, but I want to start doing kind of a setup where I do a really high in-depth video. I take that, I post it, and then I do 2 more videos or 1 or 2 more videos kind of going piggybacking on that idea. So for instance, it'd be breaking down 0 RB and maybe I do a 0 RB week and we really break down the strategy of 0 RB, what it means, is it effective, whatever. And then we do a mock draft, right? Or then we go over my favorite RB, my 0 RB targets. Then we do another video where it's like a mock draft where I just do like the 0 RB strategy on like Sleeper or something. So it's like a 3-episode series of me breaking down 0 RB. Now, I think that there's probably very few of you that have made it to this point, but if that's something you guys want to see, let me know. Now, here's a Darrington Evans thing. Darrington Evans. Here's another question I actually have about Darrington Evans. Let's go Campus to Canton. Shameless plug. Shout out Campus to Canton. I hope it does not dox my password here. We will see. All right, let me check. So, RB, we'll go Darrington. Please have Darrington. I know he went to a small school. Yes. What was his receiving yard market share year over year? I want to say it was really good. Wow, he wasn't even that good? Reception market share? Wow. He wasn't even that good at receiving in college, even though he's like supposed to be a receiving back. College target share was kind of whatever. What the fuck did this guy do in college? I guess he scored 23 touchdowns. He's actually really good on the... Not even that great on the ground. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I've kind of just talked myself out of Darrington Evans, but here's the thing. 3rd-round draft capital is very solid. He's athletic. He's supposed to be like the pass-catching back. On an offense with Derrick Henry, who doesn't pass catch at all, so he could like easily kind of fit himself into like a McKissick kind of role. Did Anthony Miller get drafted? No. Okay. But what was I trying to say there? If Deshaun Jackson makes it to me, I probably will take him. If Deshaun Jackson makes it to me, if Byron Pringle makes it to me, I probably draft both of them before I draft Anthony Miller. That's just my take for now. What was I getting after here? But yeah, so Darrington Evans, he's going to be the pass-catching guy. And then on top of that, like I said earlier in the video, to just kind of wrap everything, or kind of bring this full circle, is Darrington Evans could be that all-purpose type back because he's pretty good between the tackles. He's pretty good as a pass-catching back. We could see Derrick Henry go out there and get hurt, and then Darrington Evans just going to be RB1 on that squad. But 3rd-round draft capital is a pretty solid prospect, and that would just be beautiful. Yeah, that's a good team. That's a good team from Danny. Mad respect, buddy. Mad respect, my boy. I didn't mean to say buddy. I feel like when anyone calls me buddy, I feel like they're just low broing me. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't love being called buddy. I don't think anyone loves being called buddy. Just it's like, hey man, slow your roll, bud. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of overanalyzing that. Yeah, we're just going to go Anthony Miller. I don't even want Byron Pringle. So that is the squad. I love this squad. I know that we went really thin at RB2, but just trust the process because the wide receiver room looking stacked as ever. We're going to have crazy boom weeks from Metcalf, Lockett, Justin Jefferson, and everybody's RB2 is busting. That's what you have to understand. Everybody's RB2 sucks, and if their RB2 doesn't suck, it's because they didn't draft enough wide receivers. So everybody's RB2 sucks. Akers goes down, we win this league. We can just string things together until maybe Evans fills himself into a role, until Gainwell fills himself into a role. We'll get our weeks from quarterback. Fields has crazy upside. Tight end we're kind of lacking, but the flex spot and the 3 wide receivers are locked and loaded. We're going to have plenty of upside there. That was the draft, fellas. It is literally 11:30 p.m. on a Monday night. I'm going to wake up tomorrow, grind another video. I think that we're probably going to do the Cam Akers. I haven't determined yet, but it's looking like Cam Akers is winning most of the polls. But I'm also thinking Michael Pittman for our sophomore video this week. I'm probably just going to do like weekly videos where we go over a sophomore from a Dynasty perspective. I don't know what else I have scheduled for this week in terms of video ideas. So we'll see what that comes to. Yeah, man. We're at like 1.6K subscribers. I love you guys. We're doing a nice little event in the Discord. If you guys aren't in the Discord yet and you've made it this far in the video, go down below. Join the Discord. It has like pretty much all of the dopest members of our subscriber base, and that's like kind of what I'm trying to get into here. Is I need to come up with a name for you guys, you know what I mean, where I can just come up with a name for you guys. I can use it on the Patreon, I can use it on the Discord, and just like, I don't know, kind of like how like some people have like I know Mike Me Up has like the pack, you know what I mean? I don't want to steal his shit and be the pack. Or like how Fantasy Flock has like, you guys are like the fucking flock, you know what I mean? I want to have something cool like that, something with like the basement. But yeah, that's what we're doing in Discord. It's like a little bit of a like a challenge where you go in there and everyone's just kind of spitballing names, and the name I pick that we're going to house as our like name for this channel or for you guys, that person will get a free upgrade to Patreon. So if you don't have Patreon, you'll have an upgrade to the first tier. If you're a tier 1 guy, you'll have access to tier 2, and so on and so forth. And that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on my head that I want to get off my chest. And yeah, so like pretty much I'll either pick a couple or we'll like kind of vote on it, and then I'll probably put it on a community post on YouTube, and then how like the 4 get voted on, and then whichever one wins, that guy will get his free upgrade, and then that'll be your guys' new name. Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader type shit. I know that was a little bit choppy, but that's it, man. You can follow me at @RonStore_ on Twitter. Check out the Patreon. Use promo code RON for a free $25 bonus on Underdog. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thirsty, trying to choose. I mean, I know I'm pretty cool. My nitty bag, my kitty boots. I got the juice, I got the juice. 10-0, Chatham's home. Foolies glad I'm home. Even my